Hello, testing, testing. Let's see if this goes out on the stream. Doing some final sound checks. Okay, it seems like it's working, but it's going out only on the left audio. Let's see if I can just figure how that works. Hello everyone. How do I do that? What I Google OBS mic mono to stereo. Hey Daniel. Yeah, I'm glad I got to catch part of your stream. I've also been working all day, but after seeing you doing that live coding, I felt like, I should do that too. Why not? Hey Matthew, the audio seems to be left only, so I need to figure how that works. Hey Roddy. Oh, cool that you also started working on it. Hey Rudrunk. Oh fuck, so much people, and I don't know how to fix the audio thingy. Does anyone know how to make convert the mono audio to stereo? Because my mic is, it's just a single mic, so it just takes one channel, and I want you guys to hear me in both ears, so you don't get all deaf on, half the head, or only one ear. Maybe properties. Nope, that's not it. Okay. Matthew, I'm using OBS, and I haven't used it for so long, so I'm not sure how it works. Okay, I found a YouTube video on how to fix this. I'm just gonna share my screen and we can see it together, I guess. If you hear Sophie in the background, she's playing Overcooked with a friend. That's why she's so loud. No, Matthew, my audio interface does not have its own app.
Source first. Then you'll see something that kind of looks like this. You see in my audio mixer how the audio is only coming through the top part of the mixer, but the bottom bar is not lighting up. That's because my audio is...
Okay, so let's see if that happens on mine. Exactly, I have the exact same thing. Okay, let's see how we fix that. He's probably gonna say it now.
Coming through one side of your speakers or one side of your headphones. Viewers don't like that in 2020 and beyond. They want to hear the audio in both sides. So what you're going to do is click the gear cog down here in the audio mixer to find the secret advanced audio properties menu.
Ooh, okay, let's open that top secret menu. Yeah, okay, advanced audio properties, okay. And then what?
Click that, and then once you get to this menu, find the source that is currently mono that you want to make stereo. What you want to do is click this checkbox right here.
Oh, that was easy. Okay, let's go into, first of all, no, I cannot mute here because that's going to be looping. So this is mine. So I should take audio input capture probably. Let's make that mono. No, it's this one. Yeah, that's the one. So hopefully now you should hear me in stereo. Or it's actually just mono being, you know, on both headphones. I'm just gonna unmute myself in my own video stream, so I'm gonna hear myself just to double check. So you're gonna have an echo for a moment, sorry about that. How do I do that? What I Google, OBS, mic. Can someone in the chat just write if it's stereo or not? Maybe that's even faster. It is? Okay, perfect, cool. Then we can close this down. We can close this down. Thank you. Okay, let's get started. Today I'm gonna create an interactive widget for our podcast app, Lysten. I did it in the with the first or second beta, just when it popped up, when it was released, the latest beta. But audio playing intents were broken back then, so we could not start playing audio from an interactive widget. And since then, I haven't touched it. But I heard earlier today that with the latest beta, released yesterday, beta 6, it should be working. So let's check it out. Let me just see. You're gonna get some insights into our boards and stuff, but that's okay. There's nothing secret here. Listen. Yeah, exactly. I'm doing WatchOS. That's a separate branch. Actually, I'm just gonna not touch that now. Let me just commit that. Done. Go back to develop. Sophie is having a lot of fun. Okay, so this one, exactly. Make interactive widgets that play lists and the list. Interactive widget that list and plays episodes. Should be fairly easy, but you never know. Check create a new branch, 306. That already exists. Let's nuke it. Cool. Now we open. Oh yeah, it's called Inbox. So the project name for Lysten was actually Inbox in the very beginning. The reasoning behind that was that I want to have a podcast app that is sort of like the mail app on Mac OS, where I just get I just get the content and I listen to stuff I want to, and some stuff I just ignore, just like my emails. Yeah, you can double check how many. 2,000 emails I have at the moment. So unread emails. So yeah, that's how I deal with emails. So you're either on my VIP list or you're not. Okay, so this is the code for Lysten. We're not going to go through all of it. Let's use the simulator so you guys see everything that's happening, and let's compile. Oh, that's a good start. Let's just try to re-get all the dependencies. So we just have the Inbox core, which is a Swift package that then adds two Swift packages that we use that are private or internal. One that handles all the core data syncing and stuff, another one that handles our paywall. And we use these and the exact same Swift package in Ambre and in what else? Well, in other apps that we're working on. Why doesn't it want to build now? Come on. Okay, so it's fetching the stuff at least. That's a good sign. But then it's missing input score. What? It's there. Why is it whining? App clip. Let's do a classic just delete drive data, because that sometimes that's just messing things up. Derive data by. We have to refetch the dependencies. I'm trying to figure out why this is why it doesn't build. It should be working. It's fetching the dependencies without a problem. It's building. Oh, okay. Now we got some proper errors. Okay, that's cool. Let's fix that. But first, this thermos, we got a dub. I love it. And for you folks who couldn't be there, this is actually a thing you can buy. The brand is Fellow. Check it out. They're really good. They have this splash guard, which means that if you're clumsy like me, you won't soil everything on, you won't pour everything all over yourself. I just have some homemade boba tea without the bubbles in there right now. So I just make some black tea, add some milk, a little bit of syrup, and super tasty. Okay, so these errors are super simple to fix. This is an update I made in our core data wrapper. It's actually making it available. It's making it configurable if you want to load the store asynchronous or not. Let's just make this configurable from outside. And we need to add this. I don't know if you used to core data or not, but per default, the stores are loaded, I think, asynchronously, which is nice because you don't lock the UI thread. But that is a problem if you're using core data in widgets, for example, because widgets have super short runtime. So they don't. If you run them asynchronously, what's going to happen is it's going to render the view, create the image, and then close that process. So what ends up happening is that you're going to render empty views all the time in your widgets, and you have no idea why. So what you have to do is you have to tell it in your widget extensions, only load core data synchronously. So it actually blocks the rendering of the views. Super annoying bug. Or maybe it's not a bug, but it's annoying until you figure it out. I spent so much time on it. Okay, now we should be able to set this, I guess. Exactly. So in our main app, we want to load them asynchronously. Okay. I think Sophia updated this paywall interface. I have no idea what the Y argument does. But for now, we can just set it to 0, just so we can get on with the widgets, and I'll figure this out later. Okay, it's building. Yay. Okay, let's fire it up. By the way, if the fonts are too small or resolution is too low, just put it in the chat and I'll fix it. There we go. Okay, so this is working. If I play this thing.
Alla på Chalmers är klädda i Gore-Tex. Det är liksom jeans och...
Let's stop that. Okay, cool. So we have it working, which is perfect. Now we can get started with the real task. Create an interactive widget. So first of all is we have to add a new target. And we do it for iOS. Let's do a widget extension. Let's call it widget extension like that, just because we want a proper bundle identifier. We'll fix it. We'll fix the naming and stuff later. We can ignore live activity. I don't think live activities are allowed in apps that play music or stream music anyway. We can ignore configuration, app intent. Okay, so I usually do a lot of housekeeping in build settings. So if you see iOS, for example, this build settings, it's really compact. I delete a lot of stuff that isn't really necessary that we can inherit from the project settings. That way also we get the same settings. If I change something here, it's going to affect all the targets, which is really useful. But that's going to be super boring to look at. So I'm actually going to skip that now and I'll get back to that later. We can just leave it like this for now. If we just compile this, let's see if it works or not. Oh yeah, it's this one, right? Yeah. I just need to check one thing. I want to see in OBS. I don't think I can see how many are watching the stream. Can I see it in here? Oh yeah, for watching. Okay, cool. I guess that's good enough. Okay, so it is compiling. Right there. So in here, we want to list the episodes. We have to create an app intent that can be called, and that app intent should start the app in the back, the main app, and start the player. So we can start by listing all the latest episodes in the widget. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Matthew. Yes, I can, Daniel. I see the chat. Let me show you what I see. So now it's all a bit, what's the word? Like that movie when you put a dream inside a dream. Forgot the name of it. But anyhow, so this is OBS. So I see right here, you know, my input channels and just audio and stuff. Here I see the mic, that it's actually on both left and right channel. And here's the chat. But I cannot see the number of, you know, people watching, which is kind of sad, but oh well. If you're not using OBS, Daniel, I highly recommend it. Oh, it was not called meant to be called widget extension. Was it called like that? Oops. Okay, yeah, that doesn't really matter. So usually I can give you a quick side of how I configure stuff in Ambre. So just to keep things easily configured, I name them like this. So we have Cooking iOS, Cooking was the project name, right? Mac OS, Cooking TV OS, and then Ambre, because I don't know why, Ambre Watch OS. So I rename them like this to make it simple to see, you know, what the extension's purpose is and then what platform. And then in product, in the build settings, I clean things up to make sure that we set as little as possible. And we also avoid using the generated info plist. Instead, we use manual ones, because having the automatic generated ones means that we have to put data in Xcode project, the project file, which is, you know, which is going to give terrible merge conflicts. Having it in a plist, it's so much simpler to solve. Yeah, exactly, Daniel. Yeah, that's what I have. That's what I've done. I moved the chat into the same window. Matthew, yeah, I've been looking at those stream decks. They look really cool. But on the other hand, I want to avoid having more stuff. I want to have as little stuff as possible. Oh yeah, Roddy, of course. What I'll do is I will lower the screen resolution. I think that's easier. Then everything gets slightly larger. Displays. Let's go maybe to this one. Let me check. Is everything on screen? Yep. Okay. Tell me if that's better. Wow, everything is super big on my end, but it's okay for now. Everything for you guys. Okay, so what I really want to do before I actually start listing episodes, I just want to break this up to separate files. I hate having everything in a single file because it just it quickly becomes unmanageable. I think it's the wrong target. Yeah, like that. And we need, what do we need? Widget kit and Swift UI, I guess. I don't know why Apple puts all these things in one single file when creating. It's such a bad habit to do that. What's the simple entry? Let's call it like that. If you find my keyboard annoying, please say so. I'm using the mechanical keyboard I won at Dub on the Revenue Cat pinball tournament, and it's my first mechanical keyboard, and I've really fallen in love with it. I've always had the Apple, you know, stock keyboards. So when I won this at the tournament, I felt like, oh my god, such a waste. Why would I win this? But now I really like it, actually. I'll show you the keyboard in just a minute. Let me just copy paste to find these two rows before I forget. So the keyboard, Matthew, is Melgeek. I don't remember the name. Melgeek Plastic something. It's really nice, actually. It looks really beautiful and super comfy. Only negative thing is that it's a US layout and I'm used to the Swedish layout. So it took me a week or so to get used to it, but now I prefer it. I prefer this versus the Apple stock keyboard and the Swedish layout. The US layout is actually faster for coding, which I appreciate. Okay. What's next? Oh, shit. Maybe these are in the wrong targets. Yes, they are. There we go. We're going all in and renaming everything. This is never gonna work. I wonder why this should be simple entry. We rename this to content view because that makes more sense, I think. And this is called simple entry, which is so weird. I mean, this is stock code. that we were given when creating the project, the new target. So I don't get it why things are named so weird. Okay, but now finally, separate files, slightly better. Okay, this should be with a capital W. Not that it really matters, but I know it's, yeah. I just want to have that correctly done. Okay, cool. Let's run this just to see that everything looks exactly the same as it did 10 minutes ago. Yeah, okay. I think it's exactly the same, so perfect. I guess it's everything is working as intended. So what we can do next is actually start listing episodes. So to do that, normally, by the way, this is the moment where I do a commit. Actually, let's do a commit. Why not? That way, if I mess something up, we can always revert quickly. If you didn't know, if you want to close, if you're using GitHub and you want to close a ticket when merging your code back to develop, you can just write fixes and then hashtag the issue number, which is 306 in this case. If you do that, this means that whenever this branch now is merged back to develop, it's automatically going to close the issue on GitHub. So you don't have to go and do that manually. It's really nice. And also, if someone looks in the issue, there's going to be a reference to this commit, which is in this branch. So that's really nice. It's just good to know. Okay. So next step. Now we want to get content from core data. To do that, we add input score. I wonder if we need to add core data container or nope, exactly, that's included. So input score, which is our, a local Swift package for inpux or listen. This has core data container in it. Oh yeah, sorry, right there. And EIP manager, but we're not going to use that today. So core data container is going to handle core data, iCloud syncing and all that stuff. So now that we added that, now we should be able to, in the content view, I'm thinking, is this where we want to do it, or is it in the provider we want to load? I'm just trying to think, where do we want to load the episodes? We could load them in the provider and put them in the simple entry struct. And this one. So we could have like an array of episodes, and then the view would only... Trying to think if it matters. I don't think it does. On the other hand, it's really nice to have the view really, stupid like this, so it only shows whatever it's received to it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's try to load the data here instead. Oh yeah, and of course, when using core data, it means that we need to load. We need to load the core data container. We can just copy paste the code from the from our SwiftUI main app delegate, or what's called app delegate. I don't actually see my keyboard because of my ginormous mic. That's why I'm kind of leaning over now and then. So we need to do this thing exactly. Let's just copy this. We just initializes our core data stack. We can do it here, which means that what is Daniel writing? Is the container loading slow, or does it work well in a widget? It loads super fast. It's all local and it's core data, so it's super fast. The only important thing to keep in mind is that, as I said before, core data does load stores asynchronously per default. So you have to disable that and load them synchronously to make sure that it loads the data, then renders the view, and then saves that view, you know, as an image, and then closes the process. You don't want it to render the view and after that finish loading the data, because that means you're going to have an empty view, and that is a problem. Okay. Core data helper. Where do I put that? I think it's in a. Is this in Inpox? It is in Inpox. In Inpox core, sorry. So we. Oh yeah, we need to import Inpox core. That's why. There we go. Perfect. We don't need to do spotlight indexing from the widget extension. Is read only? Yes. The widget is only reading. We disable syncing because we don't want the widget extension to try to do any kind of iCloud syncing, because it's just going to fail anyway. It can lead to errors. Should add store asynchronously. That is true. Why was this true already? I think I made a mistake in right here. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, exactly. It should load asynchronously in the main app, but here it should be false. Exactly. Because here we want them to be synchronous. It doesn't have to be observed object here. There we go. There we go. This means that this call, this specific line is going to load the data, you know, load all the stores in core data. And it's not going to continue executing until all the stores are loaded. That's what it means. If this is true instead, it's going to continue executing and the views are going to render. And the views have fetch requests trying to load data. But since the stores haven't been loaded yet, there will be no results and the view will render as empty. Okay, perfect. That is done. We could... oh yeah, I've seen this problem before. So one thing, we need the context in the view, right? Or in the provider, which is right there. But if I remember correctly, we cannot create a custom initializer in this struct. Let's try it. Context. Just gonna delete this stuff. There we go. Exact. Oh yeah. Okay. So now if we put it in it, yeah, this is not gonna work. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think there's a way around this. Yeah, exactly. So we type widget extension does not conform to widget. If we look at the widget, which I think is a protocol, yes, it has to be a constructor with no arguments, which is a bit weird, I guess, but that's just the way it is, which means that we cannot send in the context this way. Luckily, in this case, our core data container, this one is a singleton that's used right there, right? So we don't need to actually send it in. We can just use that singleton. And then we can actually, in the provider, yeah, we can just get that singleton in here. What do we call it? Core data. What do we call it back here? Persistence controller. Yeah, let's take that name straight up. That works. Done. Okay, so in theory what we could do now is in our simple entry we could add a property which could be called episodes, which is an array of, is it called episode? I think so. Let's check in our core data model. Yeah, it's called episode. Oh, need to import input score. There we go. Perfect. So now the only thing we need to do is we need to load the episodes, and then we have to send the forward episodes into the simple entry struct, and then simple entry will be used to render the view, and that should be all, I guess. Yeah, that should be all. And in the content view, exactly, that receives the entry. One thing I usually do, which might not be the right way to do it, is I usually add a property right here, which is called, I call it isPreview, because that can be used in this content view. Right here we can check if this is a preview, render some mock data. And we use that when the context is context as a preview. Has a property called isPreview. If that is true, it means that the user is seeing the widget in the widget selector, and in there you don't want to see empty or no data. You want to have some examples, like if I open up news, for example. Yeah, so this, for example, this could be hard-coded. Now I guess this is actually the real news. Yeah, these are actually fetched from the real world, but Apple could, in theory, mock data here. Maybe they do if you're offline, I don't know. Sophia's having a good time out there. I don't know if you can hear her. Okay, so this is, we added the isPreview first, which is context.isPreview. We can delete, these things. Date and emoji, we will delete emoji at least in a little moment, but first I just want to get this compiling again before we continue. Yeah, that is perfect. That's all we need. Yeah, maybe there's another way of doing that. Are you having your beer now, by the way, Daniel? I hope so. Okay, this should be compiling now. Nope, not yet. What did we miss? Oh, in the previews, of course. I'm glad to hear it. We can do false on this one so we can see the differences in the Swift preview. Then we can compare, how it's the preview looks like versus the real thing. Man, it's so hard to code and talk at the same time. I used to just being completely silent by myself in my cave, having music on. Okay, now it's building. Perfect. So everything is looking exactly the same as it did a few moments ago. So what we can do now is we can load some data. Yeah, let's do that. We don't need to do, yeah, exactly. This is creating multiple entries with different timestamps, 5 hours apart. We just need one for now. I think we're ever actually gonna need one because the timeline feature it's pretty cool, but in our scenario, I mean, I cannot predict what podcasts will be available in 1 hour or 5 hours or 12 hours. So I can only show the latest available right now. So I don't see a benefit of using a timeline in this specific app. A weather app, for example, is another thing where there is actually a prediction of the weather in an hour or two. There you can build up a timeline and have it update way more often. That way you only do one reload and then it appears. You can update, re-render every 15 minutes, but you only made one actual web request, once a day or something. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so we put that as now. We can just delete this. Okay, let's load some episodes. I wonder if I have some helper functions. I don't think so. Nope. Okay. Let me just double check so I don't. No, I don't. Maybe extensions. No, just some helper stuff. Okay, so we can just load them right here. I can move them out to a separate file later. So we make a request of episode.fetch request. I think I need to import input score because it doesn't know what episode is. There we go. Yeah, now we can fetch using that request. So this is actually going to fetch all the episodes, and we can limit it to 10 maybe, I don't know. Maybe 10 works. Let's go with 10 for now. Yeah, that should be it. I mean, we need also to do, yeah, we can fix that right away, I guess. We need a sort descriptor. So, which means that we only want to get the latest episodes. It doesn't make sense to get, 10 random episodes. We want to get the 10 latest ones, these ones from the top. So that means we need a sort descriptor. And you can just define that on the request object. And a sort descriptor, something key. I don't remember how that looks like. Let me double check. Episodes. Yeah, it's episode date probably. Yeah, and this is an array. Okay, so hopefully now we get the 10 latest ones or the 10 oldest ones. I always, ascending in dates and stuff. I always mix that up. Okay, so now we can put this in here. Now it builds perfect. Now we have 10 episodes sent to the view. So now we just need to render them. We can for each entry dot episodes title, maybe, yeah, title, there we go. And this is core data, so everything is optional. In Ambre, I have actually made safe getters. So I would call this safe title, for example. And then it basically encapsulates this whole thing. So whenever calling safe title or safe name or whatever, you would actually return the value or an empty string. Or if it's a date, I don't know, today or distant past or something. Just to avoid having this thing all over the code. But for now, this will do. Oh, interesting. So it's crashing now because it's trying to load sorry, it's trying to load from the our app group, and I forgot to add the app group entitlement to our new extension. And I think I forgot to add a bunch of entitlements, but let's do that right away. Need to add iCloud and app groups and yeah, a bunch of stuff. App groups, first of all. That one. Associated domains, I don't think we need that for now. Background modes, background modes is irrelevant. Group activities, I don't think this exists on Apple Watch. Oh no, sorry, we're not doing Apple Watch. Sorry, I'm thinking of something else. But we do need to add iCloud, I think. Do we? Maybe not actually. Let's try if it works without it. Yeah, I noticed a few days ago that SharePlay does not exist on Apple Watch, or actually group activities. So I think that means SharePlay doesn't exist on Apple Watch. Roddy, that's so funny to hear that we're doing the exact same mistakes. Okay, so as you see here, now we have the episode names listed, perfect, and these are fetched from core data, which are loaded in the main app. But I don't know if this is the latest one. SAS Planet i flygkrasch. No, it is not. Is it the oldest? Oh yeah, I have a feature where I can flip the sorting order. And it's not the oldest one either. So the question is, what the hell am I showing? Actually, let's start with, let's subscribe to something in English. Because I think it's going to make it easier for everyone to just see what's going on. There we go. Day at the beach. Perfect. Oh, and here we have another thing that whenever the app, now the data is updated in the app, but the main app didn't tell the widget like, hey, can you please refresh? So we need to fix that. That can be done by whenever the app goes into background, then you can tell the widget to just refresh. That's the simplest way of doing that. And then it's always going to be showing the latest. And by the way, when refreshing widgets, there's a limit or cap of how many times you can do it per hour, I think. But as long as your app is in the foreground, then you can call it how many times you want. So it's actually a really good idea to do the final refresh when going to background, because you get that one for free, basically. So what we could do is, I wonder if I'm... No, exactly, I'm not doing that yet. Actually, I'm just gonna copy paste it from Ambre, how we did it there. This to one, yeah, exactly. In Ambre, I have a file that does the handles this. This is the line we need. So this file actually refreshes all the widgets and updates the live activities. So we just need to see where we're calling this from. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Yeah, exactly. This is what we need. Exactly this. And there's another one for Mac OS as well. So we need this one, which means that whenever the app is going, whenever the app will resign, which means that we're still in the foreground, that's the final moment we have to tell the, sorry, that's the final moment we can tell the system to, hey, refresh the widgets. So this is exactly what we want. Let's just snatch that. I'm gonna mute my mic for a second. I need to drink some water. There we go. Okay. By the way, Roddy, if you need this code that I just copy pasted, you can just write in the chat and I'll send you a PM or something, because I'm guessing you want it to. So the main app, this is the main app. So this is once the data is loaded. So we want to put it right there. There we go. I think need to import widget kit exactly. Oh, perfect. I wonder how I get this to you the easiest, Roddy. You know what? I'm gonna just put it in a gist on GitHub. That's the easiest way, I guess. Notification, re-render widgets when going to background. Oh, Leo is here too. Yay. Hey, Leo. Yeah, that will work. Cool. Roddy, if you want this, you can just go to github.com/yikescaesar, and it's waiting for you right there. Okay, Leo was asking, are you sure you can't look at the scene phase? Would that count towards the limit? I mean, I could look at the scene phase, I guess, but that would be the same thing. It wouldn't count towards it would not count towards the limit, because while the app is still in the foreground, then you can call refresh how many times you want. The important thing is just you want to call it before you go into background. Yeah, exactly, Roddy. This way is nicer because it works on, well, it doesn't work on all platforms because the UI application is different for Mac OS and its NS application. But I agree with you. It's nicer here than having it in a what's called the app delegate for each platform. Yeah, Leo, that should work too. That should work too. As long as you get a if on change is called, slightly after you go into background, that would be problematic. We need to have it, will change basically to background. But maybe it works. I don't know. Okay, let's continue. Where were we? Okay, content. Oh yeah, exactly. We had the wrong content in the widget. So if we just recompile, now it's going to re-render, I think, because I'm recompiling. Okay. I'm not sure if it did recompile or not, but why is it not? I'm gonna need to get a glass of water. I'll be right back. Hang tight. Okay, I'm back. Thanks for waiting. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go for 30 more minutes. and then I'm gonna end the stream for today. So we might not finish today, but we'll pick it up tomorrow. Okay, let's see what happens. Day at the beach. Why is it showing something else? This is very interesting. We're building the extension. Okay, let's try this just for fun. If I delete the widget and reinstall it. What? It can't have been that fast, can it? 5 watching. Oh my god. This is interesting. Why is it showing 807 8 fights? What is that? It's that episode. Something's going on. Okay. The providing is loading the data. The episodes using the sort descriptor. How does my object look like? Maybe there's a property or something I should be. I think I have to check for this one, because what we do in Lysten is that we actually we cache the feed RSS response in core data. Because an example is if you search for a podcast and then you go into it, we need to load the episodes from the RSS feed. But then if you restart the app and go to the same one again, which is reasonable, you might listen to another episode from a podcast you visited before. We don't want to have to reload the whole RSS feed before we can show something. So then we have it cached for some time. And this Boolean is only used to decide if it should be shown in the feed or not, which means basically that you're following it. So maybe that would have been a better name of this property, is followed or is subscribed or something. So we need to add a predicate to this request. Is shown in feed equals. Can we write false in here? Actually, let's do it the way I know it works. Okay, that should work. But we want this to be true, of course. What did I do? Is shown in feed, yeah, episode. Do I need to do the as cvar arg? I don't think so. Nope. I'm sure we're looking for this someplace else in the code. Let's see how we do that. Oh, we just write true directly in the predicate. Okay, let's try that. Maybe a Boolean has to be a digit or something, so like that or something. But for now, we just do it like that. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now we only see the episodes which are actually in the feed, which means that it's episode actually following. That's perfect. That is perfect. I'm thinking if we should style this a bit more, or if we should just go on and make them playable. I think I need to add a little bit more styling, I think, because it looks so bad. Let's do like that so we can see. Yeah, okay, perfect, Leo. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's a 1, right? It's 0 or 1. That's why it was crashing. Thank you. Is it called accent color or tint color? Yeah, exactly. This is deprecated, so it's called tint nowadays. And can use accent color to make it look like a button. And I think this is gonna be blue now, not purple like I want it to be. Let's double check. Not sure if it has re-rendered or not. But what we need to do is have an asset with the color. Yeah, exactly. This one, if we add this to the widget extension, I think this turn it means it's going to be purple now. Maybe tint only works on colors, on buttons, by the way. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Oh, it's blue. Why is it blue? I don't want you to be blue. Maybe this is why. Delete that. Delete that. We had. Oh, look at that! There's an app icon. Hey, they made. It's actually in the app, but it's an Easter egg how you enable it. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, the assets. This has been added to the extension. This is the accent color. Do we need to tell it to use this specific accent color as accent color, or does it just do string matching? If an asset color is named accent color, does it use that? Oops, let's do a clean and rerun just to see if it updates. Nope. Okay. Let's ignore that for now. Let's go on. Let's try to make it do what we were here to do. Let's make it playable if we can. So this needs to be a button that executes an intent. That's the one. The intent doesn't exist yet. Or we can make the label, I guess. So now we make the intent, and the intent has to be, how was it? App intents can be added into a Swift package, but I've heard that there's been problems with that. So for now, we're just gonna add it into this ginormous shared folder where I add stuff that I add to all the targets. Let's call it play episode. Oops. Intent. And we add it to the main app. We add it to the widget extension. I don't think we need it in the app clip. I'm not even sure if app clips support intents. So let's do that for now. And there's a new one, I think. Audio, playback, audio starting intent. I think that's the one. What did the documentation say? An interface for providing an app intent that records or plays audio when it executes. Let's try that. I wonder if there's template for creating an intent instead of doing all this manually. Let me double check. Nope, I don't want that. We want to play an episode, and we want to be able to define what episode that is. How is that defined? Parameter or something, I think. Let's actually, in Umbre we have this working, so I can just copy paste some code from there. What are they called? Something intent. Nope. This is good enough. Okay. Exactly. So we need, yeah, let's take this straight up and just modify it slightly. Perfect. Oh, but this didn't have the an argument or parameter, so we need to fix that. But first we can just delete all this. Maybe we, no, let's add it later if we need it. Play an episode. Description, plays defined episode in the background. Cool. Does it build? No. We don't need the show snippet view. We don't need provides dialog. That should be enough. Play episode intent. Yeah, exactly. This does nothing, but we can execute it now. Perfect, it builds. Okay. So we need to add a parameter. Let's try to Google, see what we find. App intent parameter. iOS 17 maybe. Ugh, yeah, it's gonna take forever. Instead, let's see how we did it in Umbre. I'm fairly sure it's something add parameter. There we go. Yeah, exactly. So you define a regular property, but you have to add this property wrapper, I think it's called, before it to have it working. And then for some reason I have had to add multiple, multiple constructors or initializers. I have no idea why. Maybe it's a bug, maybe they fixed it, maybe I'm doing something wrong, who knows. Thanks, Leo. Yeah, exactly. Episode, in my case, identifier. I have no idea what this error means. I've seen it before. But if I use string, I don't get that anymore, right? Oh, there we go. Okay, so from the widget now, we should be able to send in an episode identifier. You see, but oops, sorry. But this initializer is empty. So if we would add episode identifier, this can receive a UID, I think. Yeah, so now suddenly we no longer conform, which is so weird. So what we have to do is we have to add a second initializer, which is empty, that we never use. I find that so weird. I mean, could we call precondition failure in here? I don't know. Oh well. Oops. And now we can send in the episode identifier ID. I have to check my core data model again. What episode has a GUID? Is that how we GUID? Yeah, exactly. That's the one we use. And I think we use that because that's what we're given from the RSS feed. That way we can easily make sure that we track progress on a specific episode, and as long as it has the same ID as in the RSS feed, then we can, we know which episode is which one, basically. There's no reason to have the two IDs. And the GUID is a string. Okay, so let's go back to string on this. And exactly, and this is optional. What do we do now? What would be the best thing to do? Should we just skip the episodes? It should never happen. You know what? I'm just gonna, let's do that for now. Perfect. So if we start this up now, build succeeded. These doesn't look like buttons. Oh yeah, there we go. Now they're buttons. Perfect. So nice. So I can click them and interesting. I wonder what's going on. NS core data spotlight, something core data. Okay, we have that. And this does nothing at the moment, which is fine. If we try to, I think there's a property, opens app or something. Open main app. I just want to make sure that this is doing something. I'm glad I can be of use, Daniel. Yeah, this is how it works. So in the perform block right here, you add all the magic, everything you want to do. But in my scenario, I first want to check that this is actually executed at all. And one way of doing that is to add this property opens app or whatever it's called. That if I set that to true, it means that it's going to open the main app. If I can just remember what the hell it's called. Open app and run. That's the one. Oh, it's a static. That's why I couldn't find it. Open app and run equals true. So now, in theory, when I click one of these episodes, the app is just
I found some web results. I can show them if you ask again from your iPhone.
Shut up, Siri. So when I click this, it should open the app. And it should not crash though. No, Daniel, exactly. That's the thing I wanted to try out today. Is I heard today that the latest beta supports starting the main app and having that start an AV player and actually play or stream audio. Did I say the HomePod word to enable your Siri 2, Roddy? I'm so sorry. Okay, what's going on here? It's something I wish that we could do. Maybe this is gonna be possible in the future with Apple Vision Pro. Is that when I saw Daniel live streaming about an hour ago, I wanted to like be next to him doing my shit, but being able to talk to him about stuff. I'm hopefully in the future maybe we can all sit together doing live stream, but you know, sit around the table, like see each other, use others 3D personas, but you know, also talk about stuff and lean over and see what you're working on. That would be so cool. I guess people working from an office don't find that cool, but Sophia and I are working from home and don't meet anyone else. So maybe that's why. I wonder why this is crashing now. Actually, I'm just gonna try this on the device just for fun. Let me just, yeah, this is the one. That one. Maybe it's because I'm building the extension and not the main app, but that shouldn't crash. That's weird. It's compiling to my one of my dev devices. That's why I'm waiting for. Okay, so I see the episodes in the widget, and if I click one, it does crash. That is interesting. Why would it crash? Is it because it's loading the core data stack for some reason? But because when I open it manually, it doesn't crash. No, it does not. If we compile the main target instead, maybe we can get a stack trace on what's going on. Yeah, exactly, Leo. Exactly. Let's try that and see what happens. Okay. Something is going on. Oh, perform return types not declaring method signature. Not declare returns value, but provided one. Okay, so this is just a crash. That's actually telling me I'm an idiot. I've said that this shouldn't return anything, but I do, and then that's why it's been crashing. Yeah, okay, no longer crashing. Perfect. I think this was that's a new feature in not this beta, but the beta before that. What would that be? Beta 5. Because I've been really lazy on what I've been returning from these perform blocks, and then suddenly everything started crashing. But yeah, so that's cool. Okay, so now that runs perfect. It doesn't crash. Awesome. We can delete that. Now we need to get the player running, and now it's gonna get a bit messy, I think. So I have player, how did I not call it? Play coordinator? Play, what did I call it? So I have the player, which is my wraparound AV player. but this is called by someone else who calls play. No, that can't be right. What's it called? Group activities. There we go, coordination manager, that's the one. Okay, so I have a coordination manager, and this is based on sample code from Apple. I need this because I support SharePlay, which means that I can be listening to an episode and then I can invite you either by bumping devices or by just sending you a link, and then we can listen together, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we need to, I'm thinking, should I use this thing, this coordination manager, and tell it to start playing? We can try and see what happens. This is in my inbox core. Okay, perfect. And the initializer sets everything up, I think. That needs to be there. Oh, exactly. It expects someone else to set the player on it. So that's going to be crashing right away. And I think we do that in the main, what's it called? Main app. Yeah, main app something something in SwiftUI. Right here, I'm fairly sure that we set up that this thing, coordination manager. Exactly right there. So the question is, when I perform an app intent, which starts the app in the background, the question is the app initializer gonna get run or not? Is it gonna run this thing? On one hand, maybe it should, because this is the app. This is the first thing it should do. On the other hand, we're starting the app in the background, which means that there's going to be no views shown. So maybe this is not run. Okay, I guess we'll see what happens. If I tell it to start playing something. Exactly, and it expects an array of episodes, or we just have the single one. We have one episode, which is the one that we received from the widget. So we need to make a request and fetch that from core data. Yeah, that's what we've got to do. When we need a context here, once again, this is the app intent. Do we have is core data set up or not? Because once again, if it starts the app, it means that the initializer is going to get run. But before that happens, it's going to execute this stuff, and it's going to initialize our core data stack. This is interesting. Or does the app intent just start in the main target but does not execute this stuff? So I had to actually manually set up the core data stack. Who knows? I guess we'll run into that. We'll get the answer very soon. I saw some toots or tweets or whatever from one guy at Apple working on app intents, and he was explaining that the app intent can be run either inside the main app target or in the widget extension target, depending on different things. I don't remember exactly what the different scenarios were, but it can be run in both in different scenarios, which might be a problem, at least for us, because we want this to always run in the main app, because the widget extension cannot start an AV player session and just keep playing that. That would not make sense. Okay, we just want one episode. And we want it to be the one episode with the correct episode identifier. It was called GUID. And this is a string. And it's called, yeah, exactly, episode identifier. Yeah. Want to get the first one, and if this doesn't exist for now, we can just crash, because this should never happen in a real world scenario. Before putting this on the App Store, you would of course need to do something nicer than just crashing. Yeah, and now we should be able to tell the coordination manager to, hey, play this. Oh, it won't say of that type. Okay, so that's easily fixed. So we have our episodes, which is a struct or class actually made by core data, but then our player has another struct, which is called player episode. I don't remember why we made it like that, but that's how it works right now. Let's call it player episode. Player episode should have a nice constructor. Yeah, exactly that one. We can just send in the episode. Yeah, let's just force it. This should work. Okay, let's see. This is absolutely gonna crash. There's no way this works, not out of the box. Well, we'll see. Okay, I can just double check that this actually works.
Support for This American Life comes from Squarespace.
Perfect.
Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out.
Okay, it works. I couldn't pause, but that would, I could stop the debugger, so that's good enough, I guess. Now, if I go into the widget, press 1. Yeah, exactly. Nothing happens.
Support for This American Life comes from Squarespace.
It works.
Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs.
Okay. I shouldn't get that shocked. I mean, it should be working, but okay. That is good news that it's actually working. That was nice. What if the app is not running in the background like it was now? If I kill this, can I kill all of this stuff just for fun? There we go. Press. There's no way it's going to work now. No, exactly. It's not working. Yeah, I'm also mind blown that it worked, but it's not going to work now. And I think this might be because I manually killed the app. So it's trying to execute this in the widget extension. What we could do is we want to run the main app, but we don't want to have the main app running when I press this, right? Because then we get into the scenario where the main app is in the background. It works. We want to have it not running in the background, but we want the debugger attached to it once it starts. And Xcode actually supports this. You can just go into this thing. You can tell it to, when running Inbox iOS, wait for the executable to be launched. So now if I press play, now it's attaching to the simulator or device if you want to run that. Now it's actually waiting for the app to start. And once it starts, it's attaching to with the debugger. So we can add breakpoints now. Good point, Roddy. That could be actually a really big thing. Okay, ooh, I forgot about that. I don't know which one to use actually. An app intent that plays, pauses, or otherwise modifies audio playback statement executes. Let's try one of them and then the other one. Okay, let's do this thing first and then we can do the other thing I was thinking about. Okay, so now it's in the background, so now it's gonna work, right? I press this.
Support for This American Life comes.
I press stop. Okay, now it's dead. If I press again.
Support for This American Life comes from Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed.
Okay, if I kill this manually, let's do it one more time just because. Again, I press play. Now we wait.
Support for This American Life comes from Squarespace.
That is so
Squarespace
nice.
is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place, all on your terms. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/America.
I don't know if you saw that, but the app was not actually in the app switcher, which was super interesting. I'll look into that. But okay, it's working. So we got working interactive widgets that plays podcast episodes in the background, done in one streaming session. That is really cool. I'm gonna do this tomorrow probably as well. Yes, exactly, Daniel. Yeah, exactly. So this inheriting from this bad boy. There's some text here, but this actually gives us permission to start the app in the background and start playing. And this was actually possible before in older versions of iOS using the what's called EN play media intent. Actually, maybe we can IN media play in maybe play media. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so using this intent, we could previously do the same thing where we could start the app in the background and start playing even if it was killed. But this is an EN intent. This does not inherit from app intent, which means that we cannot use this in the new intents in SwiftUI. So that's the reason we have this thing, audio starting intent. So this means that now this perform block is allowed to start the app in the background and start audio sessions. Where the app listens for the intent. What do you mean by that? Because the app is not actually listening for the app intent. So I created this app intent, and what it does, it tells this coordination manager to, hey, play this episode. This is really complex, doing a lot of stuff, but the only thing you could actually do here is you can just have an AV player. Well, first you have to set up your AV audio session, and then you have to create a player instance. I think I do it up here. Yeah, I use AVQ player, but you can use AV player, and then just call play. So that's what we do here. So what this code, if I describe it simply, it just registers the audio sessions, removes all the items in the queue. It adds the newly received items to the queue. But if you only have one, you can just say player.play. And then in this function, we just tell the player, which is this AVQ player, which is inheriting from AV player. We just tell it to start playing. And that's it. As said, once again, this code is really complex because I'm dealing with a lot of other stuff. But But essentially, you can just call a function here that creates an AV player instance. You could give it a URL to start streaming from and tell it to start playing. And that's just gonna work. That's exactly what's happening here. Yeah, that's it. If you wanna... so that's the magic. When you inherit from audio starting intent, it's always gonna start the main app and execute all this code in there. So there's nothing in the code here saying that, oh, do this in the intent and do these lines in the main app. Just by inheriting from or conforming to this protocol, sorry, just by doing that, that's telling the system that, okay, we require that this code be run in the main app in the background, which is also pretty cool because it means that we can actually start an app from scratch without going to foreground. Yeah, I hope you got it. If you still have any questions later or tomorrow, Daniel, we can jump on a one-on-one via FaceTime or something. Cool. I'm so glad I got this working. This is definitely going to be part of the iOS 17 release for Lysten. Yeah. Thank you for joining. This has been fun. I need to go to sleep. It's 11:10 p.m. over here, and I've been working all day. So it's going to be nice to just not do some coding for a few hours. Tomorrow I'll probably jump on again, but then I'm going to be designing this thing because we can't have it looking like this. And maybe work on some UI stuff. Yep, that's it. Cool. See you around and take care. Bye.